Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
This week's plot so far is from Rose Parsons.
Ah, she's a member of the secret gang, of course.
She certainly is, and her secret gang name is Dogfinder General.
Yeah.
And she sent us what she titled Brillo Dillo Plot so far.
Wow.
Good title.
Good. Sounds good already.
Yeah, I mean, how can it be bad?
Yeah, she would have to write Bado Dado Plot so far. Then I would have been worried.
Yeah, she didn't do that.
Yeah.
So she's almost certainly the winner this week.
Good.
All right, she says, 3 cheese enthusiasts travelled with great relentlance to an inn, where they were greeted by an old crone called Mrs. Fox, no relation. As the young men sat down to a supper of 4 tankards of brandy and 1 Happy Meal, Mrs. Fox initiated a flashback. Rampion and Rapunzel were twins, and as such were completely identical, apart from Rapunzel's boobs, of course. Rampion really liked Rapunzel's boobs. He liked them so much, in fact, that he spent countless days chasing after them with his spidery hands and showing Rapunzel his winky in the barn. I mean, that didn't happen. But sadly, after using the rays from the cold January sun to set fire to some wet grass, Rampion accidentally burned the family woodshed down, and their parents had to sell Rapunzel to some man. Brilliant.
Yeah, excellent.
Right, so let's get started with this week's episode. So, as you know, the Squire has just arrived, terrifying Squire, and he's brought a lot of chickens with him. He's like, here you go, have some chickens. So, but
Chickens aren't free, are they? No such thing's a free chicken.
Such thing's a free chicken, exactly. So what does he want in return? He wants Rapunzel.
Yeah.
He has bought Rapunzel for some chickens, all right? And he's going to take her back to his big house, which is called Century Chase, or The Chase for short, where he's going to be disappointed to discover that it is illegal to marry a 12-year-old,
Oh, yeah,
right?
I know, terrifying.
And his lawyer is going to tell him, look, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait a whole month. 1 whole month until she is 13, when it's fine. No problem there. Marry a 13-year-old? Absolutely. Go for it. Marry 2. Why not?
It's 1625, isn't it?
Yeah, 1625, when the Grimm Brothers famously lived and married children. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we get on with it?
Yes, please.
You are Rapunzel, are you not? Rapunzel doesn't speak. Danielle nudges her. Still, she does not speak. Yes, my lord. She is Rapunzel. Come here, Rapunzel. Rapunzel looks scared. I mean, fair enough.
Oh, he's got that voice.
Yeah, he's a terrifying man. The Squire removes a beautiful rose from his lapel and proffers it. For you.
Smell my rose. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Ha, do you like a little joke? Hello. I want the boy, really. Come on, Rampion, let's go.
Only joking. Only joking. No, okay, you can go home now. Come on, Rabbit. What? Nothing. Just get in the car, right? I'll explain later.
Get it back in my van.
What's a van? Nothing. Just get in. Right. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if they're going to get rid of one of them, I mean, I like Rampion as a character; he's more entertaining and everything. But if I was a parent, I'd want to keep Rapunzel and get rid of Rampion because he's weird.
Well, she's kind of annoying because she, refuses to get in the fucking bath, doesn't she? She's like, I don't want to get in the bath. It's all wet and everything. At least he's well behaved.
I guess if you...
Oh, he's not though. He burnt down their house. But yeah, you have him.
Yeah, all right, no. Okay, so we've got a choice, Edward. Basically, we keep the one who won't have a bath, or the one who burns down our house. We'll probably keep the smelly one.
I think Rampion, if Rampion's not going to get picked by the squire, he's going to be feeling some severe guilt, isn't he?
And a rejection. Survivor's guilt and rejection.
Am I not pretty enough for you, Squire?
Yeah, I think he's going to be. Yeah, he's absolutely. He's going to have He's going to need a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the squire squats down to the child's level. Rapunzel looks up at her mother.
Takes a piss.
What?
Squats and pisses. Takes a shit.
Shit, yeah.
Do you like that? Really? Yeah.
You better get used to it. You're going to be seeing a lot of that. Basically, I've bought you to be my poo watcher. That's what you're going to do. You're my poo watcher. What's a poo? Yeah. You're gonna live in my toilet, and when I have a poo, you gotta look at me. Do I have to wipe it or anything? No, just look.
Make sure it doesn't get away. I don't know where it goes. No, I want a detailed report.
I'm very possessive over my turds. Okay, so that's what he does. Rapunzel looks up at her mother. Danielle nods back at her and gives her a little push.
Go on, darling. Go and watch his poo.
Like it. What am I supposed to say? Say yes. Say you like. Basically, your job is watch me and then tell me it was good.
Compliment my poo.
Yeah, he's really needy, but he needs to be congratulated for everything. So he's got a court full of people who tell him how brilliant he is, but he's got no one in his bathroom telling him what a great shit he's just taken. Yeah. So he's like, I've got to solve this problem. Yeah. I'll get a kid. They won't take up as much space. You're going to be my poo congratulator.
Congratulate you. Come on, say something nice about her.
It's very brown.
Try harder.
Yeah, that was a bit rubbish.
It's a lovely poo. Yes, it is.
All right, you can have a lot of time on your own in my toilet. You can write some better compliments for my poo. Just get prepared, all right? They don't have to be real, they just have to be convincing. The squire smiles again and looks at Edward. Danielle follows his gaze. Edward is staring at the floor.
The floor?
Yeah. They've gone inside, I guess, at some point, yeah. Maybe he's like the house, they're near the house, right? Yeah. So maybe the door's open and he's just looking at the floor. He's going, I should probably replace those floorboards.
Sweep.
Now I've got all this money for selling my daughter. I can buy new floorboards.
Yes, he's planning on putting some carpet down.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, that's nailed. All right, so he's staring at the floor. Danielle says, "What's going on, Edward?" He is crying. I'm sorry, he says. Sorry I sold a daughter, but look at my carpet. Look at my lovely plush carpet. I mean, in some ways that's better than a daughter, isn't it? She never kept our feet warm. Danielle says, "Oh, Edward, what have you done?" She doesn't know. She hasn't worked it out yet.
Come on. You're really late to this fucking party, isn't she?
What's going on, Edward? Can you explain it to me? Because you seem to have a big bag of money and things and no daughter. What happened? So, Edward has sold Rapunzel.
Oh, what a meanie.
Danielle has finally understood what he's talking about when he keeps saying, "I've sold Rapunzel."
What genius she is.
And the next thing that happens is Danielle, kneeling, holds Rapunzel's head in her hands and kisses her forehead. She wipes the tears from her own eyes and those of Rapunzel's. "Rapunzel, you have a new home now and a new life. I'm just accepting it." I was quite shocked for about 3 lines.
I'm just thinking about that carpet, though. I mean, this is a lot of money. We could get something really good for that place.
We've got no food and no carpets, and now I've got a bag of gold. And now, basically, I'm asking myself, bag of gold or daughter? Which one do I want? And it's not a difficult question.
I've got 2 children.
And I can make more.
And they look the same. It's like, maybe if I just give Rampion a mirror and he walks around with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I'll
draw a pendant on the mirror.
Sometimes I'll make him wear a necklace and he'll be the girl one. Yes. No, that's it. Rapunzel, you have a new home now and a new life. Bye! It's been nice knowing you, daughter. 13-year-old, bye.
Bye, Mummy. Bye, Daddy.
Yeah. Sorry about selling you.
Bye, Rampion. Sorry we won't be able to do it in the hay shed anymore.
Rampion begins to cry too, which makes Rapunzel cry all the more.
Oh, God.
It may seem scary at first. She's normalising the crap. She's all like, okay, I've got used to it. I've had 24 seconds approximately to get used to the idea of you becoming a sex slave.
24 seconds to get used to the idea of that really plush carpet she's getting. That's what she's at.
Totally. So now she's all like, okay, Rapunzel, it's tragic that you, a 13-year-old, has to go and be a sex slave of the squire. But hey, look on the bright side, carpets. No, she says, it may seem scary at first, but you shall...
then scary at second.
Yeah.
And then, you'll probably get murdered.
Scary at third and continuing to be scary forever. But fuck you, I've got a carpet. That's what she's saying, right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't actually come out and say that. That's what she's thinking. Yeah. It may seem scary at first, but you shall never again want for anything.
Apart from maybe,
freedom. Yeah. Yeah. And not being married to this man. You will live in a big house with lots of toys and make lots of new friends. Like the squire's penis will be your first new friend. You're going to get to know him very well. Oh, God, this is
the
awful.
squire's penis, that will be your first toy as well. And you're going to get to play with that toy
a lot of the time, all the time. That's right.
I'm here still.
Yeah, you can call it your doll if you want. You can call it Barbie if you want.
I'll put a wig on it. Will that make it better?
Not really. It is time for us to leave now. Rapunzel? You shan't take my sister. You shan't. You shan't. I sham.
It's a sham.
What? Sharp. I'm sham taking your sister. What? I don't understand. You just sit here and try to work it out while sham take your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is terrible. I mean, I think we should remember that this is not a real person. And if we were talking about a real 12-year-old, we'd never make these kind of jokes, right?
Oh,
no, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. No. It's a fictional 12. And also, because this is like Shakespearean times, she's being played by an adult man, right?
yeah.
So that's why it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, the person playing... actually is being played by an adult man.
She is.
Because I'm playing her.
Yeah.
But in the stage version, she's being played by like an 18-year-old thin
adult
kind
man.
of
She's
short...
been played by a man. She's playing by an old man. But I don't know if you're an adult.
Okay, no, but I mean, in age terms, I'm over 18, and therefore... I didn't say a grown-up man.
Okay.
I said an adult man.
Okay.
That's a legal term.
Didn't know what the word meant, Because I'm not an adult.
Adult means really cool and great and together. Yeah, that's me. Good at playing 12-year-old girls.
So when we talk about Squire Valen penetrating a small girl, we actually mean Rufus.
Yeah, absolutely. We're basically talking about me. Yeah, me. Like penetrating myself.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm penetrating me. Yeah, so don't take this the wrong way. And even if we make
It's weird how
jokes...
art reflects life, isn't it? Because, I mean, you're often like dressing your penis up as Barbie and trying to make yourself suck it.
Sometimes. No, I wouldn't say often. I won't go so often, but, the winter nights can be long.
Unlike your penis, which is why you never successfully have sucked it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not Howard Long penis.
No, you're not. I'm not.
So what can you do? Rampion grabs Rapunzel and pulls her inside the cottage. She's in a really shit position. It's like, basically, listen, Rapunzel, either you go with this adult scary man who's going to be your husband, or you stay here and have to deal with your terrifying brother and his spider hands.
I just want to do it one more time before you take it away.
Right.
Just to remember what it was like. Maybe take some photos.
Take some photos to remember. I'll
film it.
Video on my mobile phone. Now he pulls her inside the cottage. Danielle lies on the ground sobbing. Wow. Edward leans on the cottage for support. The squire, seeing that they are useless, takes two guards in.
Useless.
All right, as in they're not going to get the kid for him, I guess, because he takes two guards into the cottage. Interior, Fable Cottage. The squire sees the bedroom is closed. He points to it, and the guards go and turn the handle. It will not open. The squire goes to the door and knocks. Hello. Let me in, little pigs. Don't be afraid, Rapunzel. I only want to be your friend. There is no response. When we are married, you shall be a real lady with servants and everything you wish for.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, I'll marry all my friends. That's quite normal. I just want to be your friend who I'm married to.
It's nice to get married to your friend.
Yeah, okay, I'm still not marrying you. There is still no response. Your father has signed a contract, Rapunzel. I'm afraid you have no choice but to come with me. No response. You will be helping your parents and brother by coming with me. No response.
I've got some jelly. I've got a big bowl of jelly.
I knew something would work. If you don't come with me, you may all die.
I'm going to kill your parents.
Of what? Yeah, Squire. God. I'm going to give you Squire disease. I've got Squire disease. No response. You don't want to be responsible for their deaths now, do you, Rapunzel?
No response.
Do you want to see a horse? Got a horse out here. Do you come and look at the horse?
Do you like Lucky Charms?
Yeah.
Breakfast cereal, Lucky Charms. No response. The Squire turns to his guards. Break it down. The Squire stands aside and the guards move forward. Suddenly they halt as the door handle turns. The door swings open. You'd already done the door, nice. Yeah. And Rapunzel stands, eyes red from crying, with a determined look on her face. The Squire smiles. There's a good girl.
Oh.
Rapunzel holds out her hand to the Squire. He looks at her and then takes it. She's got her hand off.
Yeah, he's having that.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, that's all it was after.
That's it. No, that's a start. Yeah. But I want the rest as well. I don't mind taking it in instalments. That's why she's gone. Okay, my dad sold me, but can we give it to you in instalments? Well, I'll give you a foot next week. Yeah, I quite like that idea actually. That way you'll never stop being a 13-year-old girl who looks like a boy.
How?
I like that idea, because she'll be dead. Oh,
right.
When she's cut herself into bits, and he can rebuild her as like a statue in his house, in his toilet, and then she'll never grow old. Exterior, Fable Cottage. The Squire and his bride-to-be emerge, closely followed by the guards. Danielle looks up, tears still streaming. Rapunzel lets go of the Squire's hand and goes to Edward. Goodbye, my papa. I shall think of you often. Usually, like how you sold me.
That's what I'll be thinking, yeah.
Yeah, mostly I won't be thinking nice things about you. I'll be imagining you like in a pit of snakes being eaten to death or something.
Literally, every time I watch Squire Valen curl one out, I'll be thinking of you. Yeah. Thinking, I wish Daddy were here, watching this man take a shit instead of me.
Instead of me, yes. Every time I have to go to bed with my horrible husband, I'll think, oh, I wish Daddy was here, being fucked by this terrifying man instead of me. No, she says, goodbye, my papa. I shall think of you often. Thanks for selling me.
Bye.
Edward. Edward sobs harder than ever at her rubbish radio acting. Like, I thought I taught you better than that. Edward sobs harder. Rapunzel milks. Rapunzel does the milk when she leaves. And goes, no, Rapunzel leaves him and goes to Danielle. Mama, thanks for giving up on me so quickly. You really didn't fight. It took you a long time. It took you longer to work out what was going on than it did to get used to the idea of your daughter being sold to a terrifying man. Thanks, Mum.
Oh yeah, once she figured out she was getting new carpets.
Yeah, she kind of got there first, didn't she? Because she got the money first. She was like looking at the money, going, "This is brilliant, but I don't know why I'm getting it." And then about 5 lines later, she's like, "Oh, he sold our daughter," and so she'd already
refurbished the house in her mind.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So it was quicker to get to the. All right, I better start normalising the kid selling thing. Better start thinking of good reasons why that's going to be okay. You'll never want for anything. Rapunzel kisses Danielle, who looks at Rapunzel strangely. Rapunzel returns to the Squire's side. From within the cottage, Rampion emerges screaming and crying. Wow. Mum, Dad, I can't believe you stole my sex sister. What am I going to do with my time now? I'm going to go to the barn and look at it. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mum, Dad, I'm just going to go and look at the barn. Thanks for selling my sex sister.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the barn with my regular sister. He never puts out.
They're actually triplets. I mean, not mention the other one because she's worthless.
Rubbish,
you know.
Never do it.
Never gives me a
No, because she's the ugly one, even though they are identical triplets, right?
Yes.
This is like, I don't want to do her. She's ugly. She looks like me without a necklace on. Not me, basically.
Yeah. But we all do. No, the head's on them upside down.
No, Rampion says, No, don't go. Please. Rapunzel and Rampion embrace. The squire comes and tears Rapunzel away from Rampion. Rampion falls to the floor. The squire mounts his horse. Rapunzel is passed up to him by a guard. He puts her in his bag. The guards mount. The entourage rides away again. Rampion chases after the departing group for a distance before collapsing some way away. Edward pursues him. He goes to pick up Rampion, but Rampion screams and hits his father. It's your fault. It's your fault. So, the squire has bought himself a brand new 12-year-old girl, and he's taken her home to his house, right?
Nice.
So this next scene takes place in his house, his big house, Century Chase. He's put Rapunzel in like her brand new big bedroom.
Oh, she's got a lovely big room
She's got a lovely big room now. And he has gone to his study to talk to his lawyer about the legal situation
About
of
whether
buying children.
Yeah, and whether he's allowed to go in that bedroom he's put her in.
Yeah. So, interior study, Century Chase. The squire sits at his desk. A harassed-looking gentleman stands by the door. The laws state that she may not be married until she's 13. I know that, you imbecile. Of course, likewise, premarital copulation is frowned upon by the church. I, on the other hand, quite like it. So if you'd like to have sex with me, that's I'm very open to that as an idea. There is something of an awkward silence. When will she be of age? In little under a month. May I suggest, in the meantime, she sleeps in a separate room to avoid temptation.
Yeah, as soon as he turns into Zippy, which is also Rapunzel's dad, the bear. Yeah.
I'm just moonlighting. I think you should avoid the temptation of fucking my 12-year-old daughter by putting her in a cupboard for a month. It'll be okay when she's 13. All right, bye.
Be great then. I'll come and watch if you like.
All right, bye, me.
Meow. Yeah.
Do you think we keep saying milk, right? But do you think we've ever actually bothered to explain that?
We've explained it somewhere,
but not necessarily here. All right, so Howard, why sometimes, particularly when people are leaving the room, do we go milk?
That's the worst excuse when they're leaving the room.
Yeah. Why would anyone
At drama school, we did radio technique.
And when Howard says we, he means him, because I wasn't there.
yeah, right. Because I'm king of England.
You're a group.
I'm king of England. So when I say we, I mean the royal we.
Okay.
And so we Howard.
We Howard.
Little Howard was taught radio technique.
Okay.
And in radio techniques, like because there's no visuals, you have to provide the visuals vocally, don't you?
But like you have to say, "Oh, look, it's a frog."
So the idea of someone leaving and getting further away, you would turn and like
cover your mouth
and dip your voice and cover your mouth. It's like
so you put your hand on the right of your mouth, and then turn to the left, going
Milk.
I didn't do it very well, did I?
Milk.
Yeah, and then come back.
Milk.
Yeah.
Milk.
And you can see what a great actor Howard is from this, and how good that training was.
I'd have to hear it back to see how great and convincing.
I'm sure it's amazing. Yeah. What we also realised earlier today, because we've been making this joke for a long time, but then I think you said, "Why does he say milk when he's leaving?" Because we haven't thought of that. So we think probably Howard remembered it wrong, and he said milk as he was coming in, like he was the milkman.
He was the milkman arriving with the milk.
When the milkman leaves, he doesn't go, "Okay, bye now, milk."
Yeah.
That's weird. That's a weird milkman. Drink.
Yeah, drink.
Okay, so we're at Century Chase, and the squire is talking to his lawyer about whether or not...
Or his priest, we're not sure.
Or his priest, maybe, yeah. About whether or not he can have sex with a 12-year-old.
Oh, God.
And basically the lawyer said you can't marry her because she's too young, and you can't have sex with her, not because she's too young in this case, but because premarital sex is frowned upon by the church, right? So don't have sex with a 12-year-old because premarital sex is frowned upon by the church.
So the church is okay with you having sex with a 12-year-old if you're married to them?
If you're married to her, yeah.
But the law isn't okay
it's
at all.
Terrible catch-22 situation.
So the law is better than the church, as usual.
Neither of them are particularly commendable in this situation. Right. Yeah. So the squire, after hearing this, the squire says, "When will she be of age?" And the lawyer replies, "In little under a month. May I suggest, in the meantime, she sleeps in a separate room to avoid temptation." Yeah. I said it.
Her temptation, that is right.
yeah. She might not be able to resist your beautiful physique. And the squire says, Yes, I suppose she must." Interior squire's bedroom. The door to room opens, and a young maid of age 13 enters and bows. The squire, "Oh, you're old enough. Come here." And it's like, "You'll do for the next month."
Should be called Rapido, shouldn't it? That was his TV show. Rapido.
Rapido. Was that about fast paedophiles?
Should have been.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? It absolutely shouldn't have been about speedy paedophiles.
Well, it depends whether it was in favour of them or not, but I mean, it could have been about them, and with that title.
But about stopping them, putting walls in their way and stuff. Like doing, basically, road runnering them, treating them like Wile E. Coyote. Yeah. And so, okay, here comes a Rapido. Quick, paint a tunnel. Okay. Oh. Brilliant, we got a Rapido.
Got a Rapido.
No, the door opens and a young maid of age 13 enters and bows. This is Mrs. Fox as a young girl. "Oh, sir. This way, ma'am." Interior corridor, Century Chase. The young Mrs. Fox and Rapunzel come from the bedroom. I'd never really spoken to... Oh, voiceover. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
So she was saying this to Rapunzel. I'd never really spoken to her before. What are you talking about? No. Voice-over. I'd never really spoken to her before, except to call her names Rapunzel or Raprazel. But no, as a maiden service to the squire, I was to call her Ma'am. Next scene, interior dining room, Century Chase, later. A grandfather clock ticks loudly. A long table is laid out for dinner. Only 2 places are set, one either end. Brilliant, classic. Above this, an impressive candelabra hangs.
Why is it impressive?
It's like as big as a boat. It's like Titanic sized. There's some Irish people in the bottom dancing a jig, and Kate Winslet's up the top, swanning about in her posh dresses.
Oh yeah.
Impressive candelabra. The squire is seated. A waiter stands by his side with a bottle of wine. Yeah, is it a waiter when it's someone who works in your house? When you're at home and your servant, do you go waiter? No. When you've got a minute, waiter. You're not getting a tip. You're not getting a tip. That's not his voice. You're not getting a tip. Oh no, hang on. You're basically my slave, aren't you? Okay. The squire is seated. A waiter stands by his side with a bottle of wine.
In the menu.
Another waiter stands over by the empty space. The squire looks over at the grandfather clock. It reads 1 minute to 7. The doors to the dining room are opened from without by a maid, and Rapunzel enters in the gown. She looks beautiful. Oh, does she, Howard? Ooh, she a sexy 12-year-old. I'm looking forward.
Say sexy, does it?
I'm looking forward to seeing this film, getting that 12-year-old to take whole clothes off.
Does it say
and then
sexy?
Put the sexy gown on, and then I can look at it.
Children can be beautiful. What's the matter with you? He's probably she probably got loads of lippy on, and probably put a padded bra, and she looks beautiful, is what he's saying.
She's got some high heels on. She's got a crop top on. Lovely. She looks beautiful. Her long blonde hair piled upon her head. Now, I remember the last time...
That was a raven, yeah.
Yeah, the last time someone had hair piled on their head, it took off. It flew off about a minute later.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to worry. What's blonde hair going to turn out to be, though?
Penguin.
Yeah,
and this is Mr. Rapunzel.
Back. I'm going to get you, Batman.
No relation.
No relation.
That's what she says. That's what Mrs. Fox says.
Yeah.
And then we talk about how she just says that after she mentions anything. This is a table. No relation. Like, well, I didn't think it was. All right. So, yeah, she has got the penguin from Batman on her head. No, her long blonde hair is piled up on her head, showing off her neck. The clock strikes her arrival, and she glides to her seat. I love it. I love the way you just occasionally put these unexpected verbs in your directions as well. It's like she floats over the table, he hovers over the rooftops. She grows a pig out of her face. Oh no, she glides to her seat.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she does literally like slightly take off, not fly, but she just lifts her feet off the floor.
Well, she got that gown, and underneath it, she's on a skateboard, isn't she?
Okay, she skateboards over. She skateboards over to her seat. Yeah. You look beautiful, Rapunzel, but you don't need to bring your skateboard. You probably look better if you didn't bring your skateboard with you. She sits. The waiter pours her wine. The waiter, I love that as well. You just didn't know. We didn't know what they were called. You're like, I wonder what a rich person's dining room is like. It's probably like, I bet it's like a restaurant. Okay, he sits at a table and a waiter gives him a menu. Next scene. Rear garden, Century Chase, morning. It's the next day. A great tree sits at the centre. Oh, hello, Mr. Tree. I'll tell you what, you're amazing. Do you want to sit? You want to sit down?
Thank you much. I'll have a little sit down here in the middle of the garden.
Have a little sit with your tree.
I like being a tree, and I like sitting in a garden. So being a tree, sat in a garden, that's my idea of heaven.
Idea of heaven, probably.
Tree heaven.
Look, we've got you a special chair. It's made out of another tree.
Oh no, it's my wife. Why do you know? You got my wife and you don't know the chair. Oh, Gloria.
Oh, sorry, we thought you'd like a wooden chair.
Actually, I didn't like my wife, so...
Oh, that's good then. All right. Do you want to sit on her?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to sit on her.
She wouldn't have you...
She always sat on me.
She wouldn't let you do it when she was alive, when she was a tree. Because how can a tree sit on another tree? It's fucking impossible.
Possible, yeah. And yet here I am, sitting on a tree.
Here you are, sitting on a tree.
On a tree.
All right, so that's a good scene. So Rapunzel walks arm in arm with the squire from the house. A young gardener is marking the ground with a vastly intricate design. What's he doing? He's plotting a maze to rival that of the king's. Boy! The gardener looks up and trots over. He is a horse. Or a pig, yeah, okay. Rapunzel here is very interested in the garden. Perhaps you could show her around. My lord, says the gardener. Yes, my lord, I suppose I'll do that as well. I'll just stop what I'm doing. And planning my maze that you want that's better than the king's and show your future child wife around instead. Oh, yeah, thanks very much. Better put another week on that maze, ETA, because I'm not going to be finished now. Thanks very much, squire. The squire takes Rapunzel's hand.
Oh, right.
Kisses it and returns to the house. The gardener looks at Rapunzel.
With the hand. He takes her hand.
Yeah.
Takes her hand off, kisses it, fucks off with
Goes
it.
to the house.
What's she got my hand?
You don't want to know. Just don't. Some questions don't need to be answered. Right, so the gardener looks at Rapunzel. Almost from nowhere, he produces a deep purple fruit and tosses it to her.
He's got his dick out. All right.
Oh, from nowhere. Look, where did I get this fruit from?
It's deep purple.
Nobody knows where I got my purple. Where I got my purple fruit from. I just saw you take it out of your pants. No, it's a mystery. Oh, a magic. Where did the gardener get his fruit from? It's a mystery. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, here it comes. Here I come. Oh, I'm done.
Tossed it at you. Stop tossing off at me.
Almost from nowhere, he produces a deep purple fruit and tosses it to her. Her arm flashes out and she catches it with ease. Yeah. She is good at baseball.
She is.
So, you like the garden? No. What? This is my garden. Do you know how long I've spent doing this garden? All my life. He bought me as a kid and made me a gardener. At least you get to live in a big bed and get sex occasionally. Do you know the last time I had sex? Never. All I get is to toss myself up at his future wives. He brings one around, he's like, here you go, Malcolm. Have a look at this wife. What do you reckon? You're never having sex with her. Do you want to masturbate in front of her for a while? Oh, I'm going to take her hand to the house. I'll take her hands with me just to make sure she can't help. You stand here and look at her and play with yourself for a while. I'll be back in 10 minutes when you're finished. That's my life. He bought me when I was 3. You're going to be my gardener. That's it for you. Oh, thanks very much. Oh, thanks very much, Squire. And you know what? He bought me from the king. I was the king's son. I was going to be the king, but now I'm a gardener. How do you think I feel about that? Quite bad. Yes, I do feel quite bad. And now you turn up and don't like my garden. That's all I do. No, the gardener says, oh, questioning, oh, why? Why don't you like my garden? And she says, you think you can control nature, but you can't. It is stronger than us all. Well, how did I manage to cut the grass? Look at the grass. I cut that this morning. It's short grass. I controlled nature. If it were impossible to control nature, then the grass would have cut me. All right. And that didn't happen, did it? No, I cut the grass. So proving that what you're saying is wrong. I cut down a tree, made a chair out of it, and got another tree to sit in it. That's what I did. Do you want to see me toss off my purple fruits again? Now that's me controlling nature. What comes out of a dairy cow? Is it
Milk.
What do you put on breakfast cereal? Is it
Milk.
What is one of the principal ingredients of a latte? Is it
Milk.
Find out by asking your local
Milkman.
Was writer in the world? Was writer in the world? Was writer in the world? Was writer in the world?
Thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of The Worst Writer in the World.
If you'd like to hear the extended episode with much more Rapunzel and much more us talking about you guys at the end.
Yes, please. How do I do that?
You can get that on our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/manbycow. And of course, you can find the link in the show description. And if you don't like paying just a really, really small amount of money for loads and loads of stuff, you can get things for free by joining our Facebook group. Now, this week we have a very special challenge for you listeners. All you've got to do is get on your social media, your Twitter or your Facebook, and recommend our show, right? Just tell people that you like it, you think it's good, maybe mention why it's good. But in your recommendation, you've got to use one very particular word, and that word is, Howard,
Pinioned.
pinioned, right? But don't worry about what the word means, okay? Be like Howard Long.
Yeah.
Just use it and make it mean anything you like. For example,
I just pinioned a nice glass of milk.
Eric pinioned me in the testicles yesterday.
They pinioned all the way home.
Literally, it can mean anything you like. But don't just say you pinioned a nice glass of milk and then stop. Make sure you mention the show as well. That is an important part of this challenge. Say you pinioned a nice glass of milk, and while you were pinioning it, you listen to a really good podcast called The Worst Writer in the World, and so on. And we'll choose the best use of pinioned, and we'll read out our favourite recommendation on next week's show. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to send us your plot so far, and goodbye.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.